In this training video, I'm going to discuss the two different ways that you can become licensed under the state regulatory authority. If you are looking to obtain license, you have to come one of two ways. Either you are coming under the DBO, which is the Department of Business Oversight, or you're coming through the real estate entity that's in charge of your particular state. But whether you have a real estate license or not, you still have to go through the 20-hour class, the continuing education, all of the different entities. But a lot of people don't know or understand that real estate agents can now do mortgages if they're properly licensed. So the rules have changed. Yes, real estate agents can now do mortgages as long as they are properly licensed. If you don't have a real estate license, you don't have to get one to do loans. You will be licensed under what's called the DBO, Department of Business Oversight. So I want to make that clear. You do not have to have a real estate license to do mortgages. But if you do have a real estate license and you want to do mortgages, the rules have changed. And as long as you are properly licensed, you will be able to do so. So let's talk a little bit about that. State regulatory authority. Each state has their own different regulatory authorities. The DBO is across the board, but state regulatory authority, that's who is in charge of implementing all of these rules and regulations. Let's start with the DBO. If you do not have a real estate license, again, if you do not have a real estate license, you will be regulated by the DBO. Again, if you don't have a real estate license, you're going to be under the DBO, Department of Business Oversight. You have plenty of people that did mortgages in the past before this rule came about. They don't want to have to go get a real estate license just to be able to do loans. They want to be able to just be a mortgage loan originator. You will be regulated by the DBO. When you complete your application, your MU4, you're going to choose to be regulated by the DBO. Now, if you do have a real estate license, then you're going to be regulated by whatever your real estate board is in your particular state. I happen to be in California, so I'm using that for the example here. Here in California, our real estate board is called the BRE or the DRE. But you may be in Florida, you may be in Texas, you may be in New Jersey. Each has a real estate board. If you have a real estate license, you will be regulated under that particular real estate board or real estate organization. So again, if you don't have a real estate license, you will be DBO. The real estate board does not want to oversee you because they're not benefiting from you. So your MU4 will be completed saying DBO. If you have a real estate license, you will be under whatever that particular real estate board is for your particular state. In California, it will be the BRE. Now, once you pass the test, you can do loans, mortgages in all of the states I have listed here without having to take a separate exam. So you'll notice Minnesota and West Virginia, they're still gray. They have not adopted the UST, the Uniform State Content, which means that you still have to take a test to do a loan in those states. But all the ones in the blue, once you pass this test, you're able to do mortgages, you're able to do loans in those states. They do not require an additional exam. And again, it wasn't always that way. There was a time here in California, there was a California exam. And in Texas, there was a Texas exam. Not anymore. One exam. The national exam with UST component. Unless you're trying to do a loan in Minnesota, then you have to do the Minnesota test. Unless you're trying to do a loan in West Virginia, then you'd have to take the West Virginia test. Now, I said you don't have to take an additional exam for these states, but there are some states that require additional education. Look at the 8 that I have here at the bottom. You don't have to do an extra exam, but they do require additional education. Let's look at Connecticut. Connecticut says 21 hours of education. Well, this course is going to give you credit for 20 hours. If you have a loan in Connecticut, go on my website and you can take the 1-hour training on Connecticut. Let's look at Nebraska. It says 22 hours. Well, this class is going to give you the 20 hours. have a loan in Nebraska, then go ahead and do the other 2 hours of training for Nebraska. If you don't have a loan that you're trying to do in any of these 8 additional states, then you don't need to worry about the additional education for those states. Nevada is the most stringent. It has 30 hours. Well, at least this class is giving you credit for 20 of those. You just have to do the other 10. And I imagine that they're so high because you have the gaming commission and things of that nature. So that's how it works. Either you're going to be DBO or you're going to be under the real estate board. If you do not have a real estate license, then of course you're going to be DBO. If you have a real estate license, then you want to work under your real estate broker to do mortgages, then you're going to do loans under your real estate entity. And if you have more questions about that, you can feel free to give our office a call or send me an email. Thank you. See you in the next training.